What's up, Talk Nation? My name is Chanel, and you are now listening to the Chanel Talks podcast. Y'all know I'm always talking about Instagram and seeing things on Instagram. So today I came across this reel of this guy basically talking about men not wanting relationships for real, and people aren't really dating anymore, and women got these high expectations for men. And basically he was saying like nobody's really looking for love anymore. Everybody's just trying to do the do. And he hears men talking about like what they want in a woman, you know? They don't really want a mate. They want a maid. Well, and they want women to do all the chores. They want them cooking, cleaning, um, doing their laundry. They want all the wifey duties, like take care of the house, take care of the kids. Like they not really looking for love. They looking for a maid. And then he basically was saying women want all these high expectations from men. They want the money. They want men to be providers, and they want to go on trips, and they want this and want that. And he was saying basically like everybody is dating for the wrong reasons. And nobody's really dating for real. Everybody's just skipping over the get to know you process and just going straight into just doing the do and not really getting to know each other and not really getting the dates that everybody needs, that needs to happen before you start getting in a relationship. And I was like, dang, I never thought about it. Like I never really thought about 2005 or in the past of dating, because he's absolutely right. Um, Dating right now is just pretty much over the phone. A lot of men are just talking to you for months over the phone, not really taking you on dates and things in that nature. They're not really trying to get to know you, you really, and um yeah, they just wanna do to do, and if you ain't offering something, they not really trying to hear it. Like I had guys that come up to me all the time, and they just want me to meet them at their room or meet them at their house or come over, and they they not really trying to get to know me for real and know what kind of person I am and know all the good qualities that I have to offer. And then it's like I do want to get to know them and know their qualities, but like, you know, it's not really given a chance to get to know anyone. It's mainly just like meet up to do sexual activities. And that's really about it. And then you have those significant others out there who never meet up with you and just talk on the phone, and then when y'all finally done talking on the phone, is meeting up to do sexual activities, because you're literally, in my past talking to men, is you're literally like meeting up with them and they just wanting to do sexual activities, and that's it. And they talk to you on the phone for months and months and months, and mostly texting. And when you're texting, you could tell somebody anything in a text. You know, it's really about just like getting to know somebody. I mean, you could get to know people on a text, but you really need to just put in the work, put in the effort, go on dates, you know? And he was basically saying like nobody's putting in the effort to take a walk on the beach. Nobody's putting in the effort to um meet up at your lunch breaks and telling the person like I'm at this lunch break, or this is what time I get off of work and we can grab a quick bite to eat, blah blah blah. Like no work, no efforts are getting put in anymore. And And then he was saying like basically guys are telling women like they want what they want in a woman, and it's mostly cooking and cleaning and doing all the wifey duties, and half of us is dating to become wives because y'all honestly the world is moving fast, and it has happened to me too. I'm not proud of it. It has definitely happened to me where I'm meeting guys and they're coming over and they're not really trying to date me, and the finances are not there, and yeah, they just come in here. um I'm making them just get a job and they have to take me out. And that's just messed up. I need to do better. I need to take my own advice. And that's why I'm putting it on the podcast right now, because I'm just like, dang, so much of this stuff has happened to me and I never really thought about it. I think we all been in situations where we're just moving our partners in, or our partners are moving in with us. And cuz it could go both ways, right? It's not just females, it's males too. You're meeting people and they cuz I heard it happening to a lot of guys as well. Guys have literally complained to me and told me like girls have moved in and took over their place, and they just start being in a relationship. So, yeah, it definitely happens to men as well. So, I'm not just talking to ladies, I'm talking to men too. Cause a lot of stuff be happening with people in general. It could go both ways. It's not just about women, it's about men too. Men, y'all be moving, y'all have your own place, y'all be successful, y'all meet women who don't have a place and they move into y'all place and they take over and y'all complain, because I be hearing y'all complain to me all the time. Now I'm a people person, so I talk to all kinds of people, so I know what the hell is going on. I meet people every day, so yeah, we gonna get right into it. People are moving people in, not really getting to know them and things in that nature, and y'all just moving them in and doing sexual activities, and next thing you know, you in miserable relationships because guess what? You did not get to know the person. You didn't find out like how what they were about, how they do things. Like that's why you people need to date. Get to know each other. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, y'all need to really get to know each other. Those phone texts and conversations is all good because that's the part of getting to know each other. But then also you got to put in the work. You guys got to go on those beach dates and take a walk. You guys got to go meet up at a park and take a walk and bring a little drinky drink to the park. That's why these things are in place. Somebody even told me one day, no, I'm lying. Nobody didn't tell me. I seen a reel on Instagram, and it was this man going on a library day, and it was like, what do you think I should wear? And then I was like, dang, I was thinking to myself at this time when I seen the reel, and I'm like, dang, he going on a library date, he picking out clothes and he asking the people like, what do you think I should wear, and blah blah blah. And so I was like, dang, I never even been on a library date. Then I put it on Facebook like I'm ready to go on a library date too. And somebody said, dang, that's one quiet ass date. Even though it was funny and everything, but I'm like, dang, that's how much people are not dating. You can't even take your partner that you like and that you're trying to get to know to the library. These are just things to think about because the library is absolutely free. A park is absolutely free. A beach is absolutely free. And we not taking the time to go on these library dates and these beach dates and things like that and walk in the park, go hike. Like there is so much to do in California. It is insane. Do you know that California have real live waterfalls? I've been saying that I want to go on these waterfalls, but I've never actually went to go because I just, like many people, I'm damn busy. I'm busy And honestly, I never even put in the effort. So honestly, I need to take my own advice and start putting in effort as well. So not only am I taking my own advice, but I'm also sharing this with you because I thought this was just so important how we just not dating anymore. And then also, like, I be seeing people on reels as well, and they always talking about like, oh, 20 is so terrible, but it's like we're not putting in the effort. That's why it's terrible. So yeah, we have to put in the effort for the people that we really like, even though some of you are not, financially there, because I get it. It's hard out here, man. We is in a recession. The food prices have went up, gas going up, eggs is crazy, $15. You know what I'm saying, for eggs, and it's just like, dang, you know. You might walk into the grocery store, it'd be almost $10 for just a dozen. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things that's getting expensive. Um, so, some of our finances isn't there. So it's important to get to know these people when you want to date, and take them on walks, take them, just show up and just like spend a little time and things like that. Go get some bread, go get some sandwiches and just have a little picnic. It's really not that hard, honestly. We just not, and I think it's a lot of ladies out there that feel like men just don't put in the work and they don't plan anything. And fellas, being a straight woman, women want these things. They want you to plan. They want you to get it together. They want you to take control. Because you guys are supposed to be providers. But I understand a lot of men nowadays also don't have those jobs. They are struggling, trying to figure out the next best thing, how to become successful. And then also we got to remember, not only men, it's women too. Some of us have high demand jobs. The jobs are just very demanding and want you to be in at a certain time, and it takes away a lot of your free time. And that's why when you get in to know people, you got to use those extra Mondays, those holidays, those vacation time. It's just not all about partying. It's actually getting to know someone, putting yourself out there. And then also, I just don't want to talk about single people either. I'm not going to leave y'all couples out either in y'all situationships. I'm going to say this. Everybody needs to get to know each other again. Seriously. We all do, honestly. Because some of us is in some situationships. Let me tell you, there is somebody right now that's living with a situationship, a significant other, and y'all don't like the person. Y'all living there because, the finances, but y'all not really in love. And y'all not even seeking 211. And 211 is the helpline. Okay. I be putting things out there and I'm not even getting paid for this stuff. Okay. This is free information. And some of the stuff I put out there, I don't give no information because honestly, this is not 2-on-1. This is Chanel Talks Podcast. And also, Chanel Talks Podcast is accepting bookings and doing free advertisement. So if you would like to join the Talk Nation, you can go to Chanel Talks booking at gmail.com and Chanel and become of the Talk Nation family. And also, Chanel Talks is wanting people to come and bring resources on the podcast absolutely for free. All you have to do is take the time out of your day and join the Chanel Talks family. But back to what I was saying. A lot of us is in situationships and you're not getting to know your partner. You feel like you're at the end of the rope. You guys hate each other. And then it's like y'all still living together. So what my advice to you is Get to know people. Get to know them again. When you in a situationship and you're not happy and you guys are yelling and everything in your power to drift apart, maybe both of you guys need to really sit down and have an adult conversation and see, and really work on it. Work, see where talking can take you, first of all. Being adult is the second step, and having those adult conversations, which is the third step. And how can you work things out better so you guys can be better parents, better communicators, and have a better relationship? Because sometimes that's all that counts, and it takes. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of you people that are in situationships need to just see why you fell in love with the person in the first place. And sometimes, you know, that person may say, well, things have changed and the person didn't like the change up in a relationship. Yeah, some of you guys were single and not having kids in the beginning of the relationship and everything is fine. But then those kids came along and it kind of ripped your households apart. So what you got to do is you got to come together and you got to get to know your partner as a mother, as a father, not as a single person. Because no, because that's not single anymore. I mean, it's single because you guys aren't claiming each other, but it's single because it's like you wasn't used to this mom side of the woman. You wasn't used to the dad side of the man. So you guys really need to communicate those things and see, why did you guys like each other in the first place? How did it all come about? And it's okay for change, guys. Some of us are very, grounded, stuck in our ways, don't want things to change. But the thing is, life is about changing. Life is about elevating. You know what I'm saying? So you have to step back into that love. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't be out here just looking for things. And some people will be okay if you living with your baby mama, if you living with your baby dad. Some people will be okay with that. But that doesn't mean that your significant other is going to be okay with it. Maybe your significant other wants you guys to work it out. Maybe your significant other, want to talk and have those and make changes. But it's like, are you too blind to see what's going on? And maybe if you guys did started elevating, changing, and trying to get to know each other again, maybe there will be marriage in the future or hope for the marriage. You just don't know until you really get to know each other again. Sometimes you got to get to know people again. And it's okay. And they're not going to be the same person that you fell in love with. And that's fine because like I said, life is all about moving forward. It's all about evolving, becoming more successful, growing up. So sometimes you guys might be on a different level in life, but the thing is, life is so precious with the little moments, with the little things. And we got to keep that in mind, in the back of our mind, that life is all about those precious memories and the little things that counts. Cause maybe the person have changed and you don't know why that person is changed. You're getting the worst side. You're not really seeing the good side. Everybody has a good side. Everybody has an angry side. So you just got to know which one. And you have to get to know people again. Like I said, have those adult conversations. Also, there's a trend going around. We all seen it on TikTok, Instagram, and social media, about, women throwing flowers at their significant others. Because I haven't just seen it with men and women. I have seen it with, same sex relationships. I don't know if that's the correct term because I really don't want to say gay, so I'm gonna say same sex relationships. I hope that's okay. but I feel like it just sounds a little bit more better. So same sex relationships, I didn't see, you know, a lot of the women out there throwing flower and trans women and things and that and same sex marriages throwing flowers at their mates, at their significant other, throwing the candy, they in the car, throwing the flowers, throwing the candy, putting the little rose petals where the mirror is above the ceiling, that little ceiling thing, I forget what it's called. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all ain't slow. I know y'all seen it on Instagram. Don't play with me. But anyways, they putting the flowers up there and then they slamming the door and then getting back in the car like, oh my God, babe, you bought these flowers for me. You bought this candy for me. And then they lift down that mirror or that sun visory and it falls into their laps, all the petals, and they're like, oh my God, thank you. You know, they're basically showing men how to treat, women. And, that's a trend. So they teaching y'all some things. And then also, you just gotta know when to leave as well. I mean, some things can't be worked out between couples. I believe in leaving. I really want to encourage y'all just to get to know your partner again. But if you know there's not any more hope and you still holding on or a significant other is still going on, you got to have those conversations, those adult conversations, and see if to get out the relationship. And then you got to find your resources and on how to oh, excuse me, how to leave a relationship, because this is all becoming an adult. You know what I'm saying? You got to know your resources. You got to know what's good for you, what's good for your heart, what's good for your soul. And you got to take time to love yourself more than the significant other, because a lot of you guys are missing out on love because you're stuck in these situationships. You know what I'm saying? And I'm all for getting to know your partner all over again. I'm all for, having those adult conversations and sitting down. But at the same time, if you know it's not healthy and it's too toxic and it's just stuff that you can't come back from, I recommend you just leave. Find these resources and leave. And I understand people are not financially stable, but the thing is, that is a part of life. If you're stuck in a situation, how are you supposed to evolve? How are you supposed to excel if you're stuck in a situation and you're not trying to get yourself out of? You can't be scared. And I know it's scary. It's a big old world out there. It's dangerous. And a lot of you guys are comfortable and you like, we happy what we're doing and da 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 da. But the thing is, the person that you may find may not be happy with what you're doing. And then as well as, you know, you're in a situationship. It's complications. It's always complications when you have in a situationship. So that's what I'm saying. Some of you need to get out of those situationships and really find love, because a lot of you are getting held back and not finding love because you're in a situationship. And honestly, it's holding up the line from your soulmate. Your soulmate is out there. They're looking for you. And then another thing is, don't be miserable, ladies. A lot of ladies, me being a female, a lot of women complain to me about men all the time, and same sex marriages too. You know what I'm saying? They complain to me all the time about their significant others and how they don't want to, put in effort and things like that. And if you're not getting flowers and they're not putting in effort and they're lazy, and no matter how many times you had that adult conversation, how many times you can complain, they still don't buy you flowers. Just like the man on the reel said, if he can't buy you flowers, how is you expecting him to buy you a ring? Now, when he said that, that took me out because I never thought about that. If a man can't buy you flowers, how can you expect a man to buy you a ring? I was thinking about that too, like, dang. And that's why I'm saying you guys need to get to know each other. And I just cannot say that enough because right now, we not. We not getting to know each other. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Some of y'all got demanding jobs and y'all lazy as hell and y'all not putting the effort in. Some of y'all are financially not doing well when you been supposed to leave that job, been go look for another job when all you had to do was put in the applications on your lunch break, get a better job, you know what I'm saying, on lunch breaks and things like that, and try to get a better job. See where life can take you because a lot of you are not taking risks. Sometimes to find love is risk. It's a risk that you have to take because it's another human being. Okay? It's another human being. And guess what? I'm sorry to say this. I know y'all hate to hear this, but when you in a relationship, it's going to cost you some money. And that goes for men and women. It's not one sided. It's going to cost both people money to be in a relationship. Whether people want to say, oh, men should be taking care of the relationship, they should be the providers. I want you to, because you got men out there on social media who definitely be like, I don't need your money. I don't want your money. You should marry me for my money. That's all fine and dandy. But what the guy also said in the real is half of America is broke. Okay? Half of America is broke, and the other half, a third, and then a little portion of America is trying to succeed, and the other half of America is rich, you know? But the thing is, what they not sharing with you is the rich is always trying to stay rich. Okay? Middle class is always trying to find the next best thing that's going to get them out of middle class to see how they can become rich. The poor is always trying to come up to middle class to get rich. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, relationships is going to cost everybody some money, whether you like it or not. And women, you know that relationships are going to cost you money because as women and as partners, period, we want to spoil our mates. You know what I'm saying? Our, it is our natural divine nature as a woman to nurture a man because we do it all the time. And that is perfectly okay. But men, let me tell y'all, it's gonna cost you some money to be in a relationship. When you in a relationship, you have to put a little bit of a financial, how do you say it? A financial, what is the word? Plan for dating financially because it's a human. You don't want your significant other out there starving when you at work. If your significant other is going things, going through things, you don't want them hungry and poor and worried about them while you at work and things like that. Or you not in the best situation and your girlfriend is going through it too. You don't want those things. So some of us need to elevate. Some of us need to elevate in our lives so we can get to where we need to want to go. And that's finding love and having a happy life. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody should want better for themselves. And it's a cold world out there. I know. It's so freaking expensive, especially when you have children, especially when you have living by yourself. It's hard when you don't have significant others and things like that, and you're staying with your partner financially because you just don't want those financial burdens. This is it's a risk. But if you want to find love and you want to be a better person and not argue all the time and not live in misery, there's just some sacrifices that you got to take because Life is all about sacrifices and being the best human possible. I mean, that's what life is all about. It's about taking risks. It's about exploring your options. So, this is what we have to do as adults. And it's so hard to hear because we don't want to take those risks financially. Because it is very hard out here. It's not easy. I live in LA. They asking for 3 times the rent. But guess what? There's also roommates. There's also resources as well that can help you get into housing and things like that. But you're thinking to yourself, oh, they're not going to help me. I have this certain level of a job and blah, blah, blah. You don't know what someone can do for you until you actually go out there and seek the help. A lot of us is being held back in situationships because we're not seeking the help that's out there. And I just put you up on game. So you better listen to my podcast very carefully because I just put you up on game a few minutes ago. So I'm going to make you rewind this podcast so you know exactly what to do because I put it out there. But anyway, that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. My whole podcast is just to better people, get you guys involved in taking better care of yourself, learning your sexual history, you know, educating yourself because we all have to be educated in the things we do, especially with dealing with people, dealing with human. I'm trying to change the dating game. So, yes, that's what I've been trying to do. Every day, every step of my podcast is not negative. It's actually positive to get you to become better in your relationships, better in relationships overall, and better at dating. So, with that being said, thank you for listening to the Chanel Talks podcast. Until next time, and don't forget, Chanel Talks has merch. Link in my bio. Chanel is accepting bookings at Chanel Talks Booking at gmail.com. Also, if you want to be on my podcast, you are welcome, welcome, welcome to join absolutely for free. All you have to do is email me, or you can go to Chanel Talks Instagram and Chanel Talks Facebook, DM me personally, and we can set up a time and a date. So, again, my email is Chanel Talks Booking at gmail.com. Bookings is not with an S, it's with just a K and ING. And that's it. So, thank you for listening to the Chanel Talks podcast. Until next time, bye.